Can't get rid of that one. My swipe it to remind it. There we go. Oh, you're on.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Eugene. This is going to be our pre-service meditation. It lasts about 15 minutes, and then our service will begin. My name is Ona Chambers, and I'm one of the practitioners here, and I'm going to lead your meditation today. So if you'll sit back in your chairs and relax, take a deep breath, be aware of your body in the chair, and we're going to start. I'm going to be reading today from Mark Nepo's Little Book of Awakenings, and it's meditations that I think are appropriate for the times that we're in. So I hope you enjoy this. The name of this meditation is Not To. The quote he uses is, to reach a chord, just say not to. And that's a quote by Sen Xiang. Almost 1400 years ago, one of the first Chinese sages that we know of offered this brief retort to those who pestered him for advice: not to. This reply is as pertinent as it is mysterious. To make sense of it, we need to understand what isn't said, that everything that divides and separates and removes us from what is sacred, as everything that divides and separates removes us from what is sacred, and so weakens our chances for joy. How can this be? Well, to understand this, we must open ourselves to an even deeper truth, that everything, you and I, and the people we mistrust, and even the things we fear, everything at heart follows the same beat of life, pulsing beneath all the distractions and preferences we can create. Once divided from the common beat of life, we are cut off from the abundance and strength of life, the way an organ cut out of a body dies. So to find peace, to live in peace, we need to keep restoring our original oneness. We need to experience that ancient and central beat which we share with everything that exists. In feeling this common beat, we begin to swell again with the common strength of everything alive. Yet we tend to lose our way when faced with choices. Tension builds around decisions because we quickly sort and name one way as good and another as bad. This quickly twists into an either or sense that one way is right and another is wrong. In prizing what we prefer, we start to feel a thirst for something particular, which getting we call success, and a fear of not getting it, which we then call failure. From all of this, we begin to feel the tightening pressure, not wanting to make a terrible mistake. Thus, we are often stymied and confused because we forget that beneath our sorting of everything into good and bad, right and wrong, success and failure, all the choices still hold the truth and strength of life, no matter what we prefer. To be certain, sharing a common beat does not mean that everything is the same, for things are infinite in how they differ. And faced with the richness of life, we can't value everything the same. But when we believe that only what we want holds the gold, then we find ourselves easily depressed by what we lack. Then we are pained by what we perceive as the difference between here and there, between what we have and what we need. We still need to discern the 10,000 things we meet, but holding them to the light of our heart, we can say, not two, only one, and realize there are no wrong turns, only unexpected paths. Meditate on a choice that is before you. Identify the distinct options you have. Try not to view these options with the urgency of what you prefer. Rather, focus on the experience each option might offer you. Try not to attach your sense of identity to any one option. If you don't get what you want, try not to see it as a failure, but as an unexpected opening. And now I'd like to invite you back into the room. So bring your awareness back into the chair you're sitting in, and into the room and into this space. And I want to thank you all for joining us today for this meditation, which is essentially on peace and how to find peace in our hearts and our souls. And our service will begin momentarily. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Good morning. Welcome again to Center for Spiritual Living Eugene. My name is Linda Finley, and I am the spiritual director here at the center. I want to thank Oda Chambers for coming in and doing that beautiful meditation for us on peace. It was perfect and just what we need in this day and time. Well, we are now officially 5 months into this. It was the third Sunday in March when we had our first live stream. And here we are, and our team is growing. We're grateful to welcome Susan from our office, who's doing volunteer work on Sundays to help out. And Riley is back, and he's helping out as well. And so we're still looking for people who want to participate either in the camera work or in the tech work. And we appreciate you very much for joining in with us, whether it's Sunday morning or at another time. Center for Spiritual Living is a New Thought spiritual community. We trace our roots back to Ralph Waldo Emerson, and we trace our roots all the way back into ancient Greece and beautiful mystical teachings that have been done throughout the ages. And what we are is an American religion that is gathered in we are now a world religion, but we were rooted originally in the United States and have grown into Canada and Haiti and Jamaica, and we have European roots and South American roots and African roots. We're all over the place. And here at our center, we believe that spiritually empowered people live richer and fuller lives. And so our work has become to inspire minds, open hearts, and empower lives using this teaching called the Science of Mind, which helps people, gives them the tools to create a richer, fuller life for themselves. Years ago, our founder created what he called the Declaration of Principles, and Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote them just off the top of his head, and later they were numbered and lettered and all that. But we've been sharing one each week so that people might get an idea of what we're all about. So this week, number 7 is the personification of God, which is really appropriate to our topic. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. God is the only source, substance, and supply of all that is. That's our basis in belief, so that everyone and everything is sacred, and everyone and everything is part of the living God, the life of God, God incarnate. And so we are connected to one another, even though we may be completely different. I'm certainly not a sparrow or a butterfly or even an eagle, but
I am still connected to them because we are all one in the life that is God. I would like to invite Ona Chambers back up now so that she can do an opening treatment to set the tone for our service today.
Welcome, all of you. It is so good to have you present with us for this service. In Science of Mind, we have something called an affirmative prayer. An affirmative prayer is where we speak of the positive of our appreciation and acceptance of the good in our lives, which allows it to flow more easily into us, rather than praying for something that we do not have. We don't focus on lack. We only focus on the richness and the goodness and the infinite beauty that is ours if we only open up to it. So I'm going to present you with an affirmative prayer now. I suggest you close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Sit back in your chairs, and I'd like you to take a deep breath. Breathe in through all the way down to your belly and breathe out. And just relax and allow yourself to connect with Spirit, with God, with the oneness that attaches us all one to another. That intelligent wisdom and energy that created us out of itself so that we all partake of its nature. We are all one in this spirit. We live in it together and we all affect one another. All life affects all life, like ripples in a pond. And as I realize that I am one with the one, I know that I share all of its qualities, especially the quality to create. I can create my life any way I want by my beliefs. So now, I want to affirm that I'm so grateful to be here today, to be in communion with my brothers and sisters that share my beliefs as we each step out into the world to demonstrate the power of them. I am so grateful to be part of this community and part of this service today. The service that with its music and with its words and with the prayer that is offered here today will unite us all and inspire us and to remember who and what we are and why we're here. To help us to remember the principles that we've been taught and to step out into the world or even into our own little circle where we're living right now in these principles, and to rededicate ourselves to them, to remembering, to becoming in conscious touch with our higher selves, which some of us call God or Spirit. It doesn't matter the name, it's all the same thing. The service today will inspire us and bring us closer to being who we truly wish to be. So allow the words to flow over you. Allow the words to flow over me. Allow the music to flow over me and the prayer, that I may be uplifted and rededicate myself to those things which I know to be truth. I am so grateful for this truth and the tools that come with it to change my life for the better by changing my beliefs. And I'm so grateful to know that I'm in exactly the right place right now to be what I need to be, to take the next step. And I place this word now into the law, into the heart of God that always says yes, and know that I can relax because it is already done. And so it is. And now I'll turn the microphone back over to Reverend Linda.
Bless you and thank you, Ona. That was wonderful. I am so grateful that you could be here. It's lovely that we have the technology that we can bring people in from their homes, and it's also lovely that somebody can be here in the center with me, which is kind of special. We have a practice each month where we take an affirmation and we repeat it. Whoever is the presider, and of late that's me, reads it through once, and then we all read it through together. I'm going to ask that the technicians bring that up on the screen now so everyone can see it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the affirmation through, and then I'm going to read it a second time, presuming that everybody at home is reading it with me. So listening now and just hearing this and allowing it to be imprinted. Oneness has never meant sameness. So when I see what appears to be different, I am being invited to embrace it and learn from it. Inclusion is the nature of God. And together we'll say, oneness has never meant sameness. So when I see what appears to be different, I'm being invited to embrace it and learn from it. Inclusion is the nature of God. And it's easy to forget that. In times when we are disconnected and feel like we're disconnected from one another, in times when it feels like there's a lot to be afraid of, it's easy to forget that just because it's different doesn't mean it's dangerous to me. Just because it isn't exactly what I'm used to doesn't mean there isn't something rich and wonderful here for me. Every good friend I have now was once a stranger to me. I need to remember that, and I need to open myself to that as I move through this time where the ground underneath me feels a bit rocky. And now it is my distinct pleasure, my extreme delight to welcome our special music for today, the magnificent and beautiful and soul-centered Phoebe Bloom, who will be coming to us from her home. Hey, Phoebe.
Hi. I'm
going to let you take it away, my friend.
Okay. I'm at my dad's house, and I was out of town, so I would have had to be remote anyway, even if we were in person. I'm watching his new dog, and it's been quite an interesting experience. She's beautiful. So Reverend Linda talked to me, sent me a message about today's talk, and I mean, how it's a beautiful, wonderful talk. And I thought, well, I would take the song. It's not public domain yet. It's from 1939, but This Little Light of Mine. And I thought, you know, letting the light shine out, sharing that light is just such a timeless experience. And so I wanted to have you all sing with me. So I made these kind of cheesy signs, but I'm going to sing this, and I'm not going to be able to hear you, but I'll just hope in my heart that you may be singing this in your heart as well, perhaps from home or wherever you are. So I'm going to do it a cappella because I can't play an instrument while I hold these signs. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 shine. What's next? Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, yes, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 shine. Even on the street, yes, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, it may be hard on the street, yeah, but I'm gonna let it shine. Even on the street, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 shine. Oh, yes. Even in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, even in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. Even in my home, yes, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, 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 shine. Even all alone, yes, you can let it shine. Oh, even when I'm all alone, I'm gonna let it shine. Even when I'm all alone, I'll still let it shine. Let it shine, 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 shine. You are your own light, baby. You gotta let it shine. Oh, bring out your own light, baby. You gotta let it shine. You're a child of light, baby. You gotta let it shine. Let it shine, 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 shine. Oh, yes. When we're all together, we gotta let it shine. Oh, when we're alone, we're still together. We gotta let it shine. Do you feel it? We're all together. You gotta let it shine. We're gonna let it shine. Gonna let it shine. Gonna let it shine. Oh, yeah. This light of mine, you cannot stop me from letting it shine. No, this little light of mine, Lord, you can't stop it from letting it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, 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 shine. Oh, yeah.
Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, Phoebe. Thank you. You made us all shine. Let's see. I did the daily principles. I did the affirmation. We had a prayer, sang. I'm guessing now it's time for me to talk. Huh? Yeah. This month, as I go through, nobody's mandated, okay, to take on the annual theme. Nobody's mandated to actually do the monthly themes and the monthly talk titles. And a whole lot of us in the organization are using them. And it is mind-boggling to me how prescient people were a year ago putting together these themes and talk titles. How did they know? You would think maybe there was only one mind. But it's here we are in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of a crisis of faith, in the midst of a profound desire to make this world truly work for everyone. And our theme for the month is inclusion in action, which our affirmation really hit on heavily, because inclusion is God. God is inclusion in action. God includes us all. The thing that got me as I'm looking at this talk this week, the talk title properly is color blind or color full. Not the word colorful, but colorful. And it has hit me over the years as we move into the idea of inclusion and the idea of diversity. And I've mentioned a little earlier this month that the construct of tolerance, teach tolerance, came out around the turn of this century, and there were all these beautiful bumper stickers about teaching tolerance. And on the one hand, I liked it, but on the other hand, I went, I don't want to be tolerated. I mean, who wants to be tolerated? I would rather be included. I would rather be taken in. I would rather be embraced for who I am, warts and all. That was, you know, in the midst of my divorce with my ex some 30-some years ago. I said, you know, if we love each other, we have to love each other, warts and all. We have to love our imperfections as much as we love our perfections. And I think this is what has always been a little unsettling for me personally. This is not any jab at the organization or anything else, but we seem to focus on and talk about, isn't it wonderful to be with like-minded people? Isn't it wonderful to be with people who feel the way we do? Isn't that building a wall? If I want to only be around people who think like I do and talk like I do and believe like I do and perhaps look like I do, I am creating a teeny tiny comfort zone that excludes a whole heck of a lot of really wonderful, rich, and amazing people. Do I embrace and include, if we're friends, do I embrace and include all of who you are? Or just the parts of you that I like? For that matter, do I embrace and include all of who I am? Or only the parts that I like? Been doing a lot of work with shadow work over the past few years, and what I've discovered is until I can embrace and include the parts of me that I'm not necessarily happy with or proud of, I'm not very good at including anybody else or even tolerating anyone else. So I have to look at what this master course in life that I'm walking through right now is offering me. All of the amazing teachers in the form of a virus, in the form of racism, in the form of xenophobia, in the form of strange border issues, in the form of religious intolerance. I can look at this and go, what a storm. Or I can look at this and go, wow, what is this trying to show me about the world, about myself? What has come up for me to learn from? What has come up for me to discover? Because as we go on in our teaching with the whole idea that we are all one and everything is beautiful and kumbaya and all that good stuff, which I really love, we sometimes forget that oneness is not sameness. Unity is not uniformity. We are all incredibly different. We are a deck of 52 different cards, and each one of them is a different suit, and each one of them is a different rank, and each one of them has different aspects and different powers. But unless we shuffle them together, we don't have a game. We don't have a life. So it's in the differences that we gain our strength. I'm going to read to you something I don't often use. I've made it a point of saying I don't often use the outlines for these talks. I use them as a kickoff point and, oh, that's a cool idea, or, oh, I like that quote. But for the most part, I really don't use anything. But I have to, big shout out to the Diversity Commission who wrote this month's outlines. There's some really rich stuff there, and I'm really, really glad. And there's a set of 3 paragraphs that I really, really choose to share with you because I like the analogies and the allegories that they use, and I want to, it helps me clarify this a little bit. I remember we're talking about the title here is colorblind or colorful. Can you imagine looking at a beautiful garden that has flowers with many different colors, textures, and heights, but not being able to see the variations in color because you're colorblind? That's the way it is with people. If one embraces the idea of colorblindness, you don't see the other person's differences or the nuances that make them uniquely them. Though the idea of colorblindness might be considered as an inclusive or noble one imbued with positive intentions, the impact of colorblindness is that you don't truly see the person who they really are. Intent doesn't always consider impact. In this case, the impact of not being seen, felt, heard, or distinguished from everyone else. Our different life experiences make us different from each other. The concept of colorblindness excludes those differences. Continuing with the garden analogy, there would be only one type of flower in the garden without any variation in color. That's what homogeneity is. We live in a world that is abundantly diverse with each of its expressions, the divine, in our own colorful way. I have some very dear friends in this teaching whom I love dearly, who will look at me with this funny face and say, I don't get it. I'm just colorblind. I don't notice race. I don't notice. And that's like me saying, I don't notice gender. I don't notice if you're a man or a woman. I don't notice if you're tall or short. What am I excluding about you if I convince myself that you're just a mirror of me, that we have no differences, that there is no, at the one level, yes, we all come from the same thing. We are all one. It's like I've talked about that old wagon wheel. At the hub is God and us, and we're all one in that. But as we live our lives, we come out as a spoke of that wheel. And the further we get away from the hub, the more our own individuality, which is what we're here to express, comes out. So that all at the rim of the wheel, somebody who's up here looks totally different from somebody who's over here. They're at opposite sides, but they come from the same root. And those differences are complementary. I was an art major. I was, in addition to being, I majored in everything. What the heck? But on the color wheel, one of the most beautiful ways you can do anything is complementary colors, the colors that are on the opposite sides of the color wheel. Those are the ones where if you're an HGTV junkie, that's where you get the pop in the room, is they put a complementary color. If the room is essentially golds and browns, they're going to put a blue in there to make it look really different, to make it pop out. It's not wrong being blue. I don't like Kermit. It's not easy being green, but it's what I am. So in our desire to be polite and nice and kind and inclusive of one another, we somehow create an unintentional exclusion of the depth and texture that all people are. Color blindness is valuing diversity in the abstract. It's like, oh, diversity is fabulous. It's wonderful. I don't really see any differences. It's all just, it's spiritual bypass. It's different. And it's funny, we somewhere in this nation, we have decided that we love Mexican food. but not so much the people who make. And I would like to point out to a whole lot of people, I was also studying history to a great extent. I'm a troublemaker. Basically from Texas up through the Midwest and all the way over to the Northern California border, all of that was Mexico. All of that was Mexico. They're not coming to our land. We took over their land. And so if we like Chinese food, but not the Chinese, Mexican food, but not the Mexicans, Jewish food, but not the Jews, there is something seriously broken in us. I want to be able to like every aspect of everybody. I may not like every aspect of everybody, but can I include every aspect of everybody? You know, if I'm going to be your friend, I have to get used to the fact that sometimes you're grumpy. If I want to be your friend, I have to get used to sometimes you're silly. If I want to be your friend, I have to get used to the fact that sometimes you're fill in the blank. And you can fill in the blanks with me. I'm sure you've got a bunch of them. And I think back to that beautiful movie, Good Will Hunting. And Robin Williams is talking to the Matt Damon character. And he says, you know, you're never going to be perfect for anybody. So my wife was just this beautiful, perfect, wonderful thing who never did anything wrong, just socially correct, you know, but in her sleep she partied. And that's the part I miss about her. She died, and that's the part I miss, is those imperfections. We are all perfectly imperfect. We are all refractions of the divine. We'll put a prism down in the window and all the bits of light fly everywhere, and they're all different colors, but they come from one source, as are we. And that doesn't mean we get to be rude and we get to do things, well, this is just the way I am, so you can put up with it. We culturally strive to do no harm, and we don't beat up one another or ourselves for those aspects of us that are imperfect. We use the garden a lot in Science of Mind for the analogy of the three-part nature of God, that the seed, the idea, the germ thought, the construct, contains within it everything that it needs. And if we put it in the right soil, the soil doesn't care what seed we put in it, it just takes care of it. And then it becomes the plant. Seed, soil, plant. Thought, law, experience. These are the three aspects of the infinite. Each plant requires a different kind of soil in the garden, a different amount of water, a different degree of sunlight. That does not make any of the plants wrong. I may have put them in the wrong spot to bloom properly. I may have put a shade-loving plant in a spot that gets sun all day. That doesn't make the plant wrong. It means the environment I put it in doesn't work. I'm being colorblind because I want blue there, but that's where the sun is. And that plant can't be in the sun. So we have to be different, and we have to allow for our differences in ourselves and one another. And then ultimately, interesting thing I've been reading about lately, I grew up, I'm from California, and I was born in California and raised in California, but I spent the first 6 years of my life and every summer till I was 18 back on the Great Plains in the Midwest in Nebraska on my grandparents' farm. And rode, field after field of grain sorghum, field after field of wheat, field after field of wheat, of corn, of grain corn, not sweet corn, but cattle feed. And that was to me how life was. But the Great Plains were this giant system of cultures with thousands of different kinds of grasses, thousands of different kinds of weeds, thousands of different kinds of vertebrates and invertebrates and bugs and birds and trees. And as we began farming, which is good, healthy things, farmers are good, that's how we eat, that's how we do things. We began creating monocultures. We tore out all the grains, all the things, all the places where the critters could live. We unbalanced the system, and then the soil became ill. A monoculture takes out all the diversity, and it starts dying from the roots up. We created the Dust Bowl by overworking the soil and taking out the very things that kept the soil healthy and strong. If I need people to assimilate and become more like me in order to include them in my life, I'm creating a monoculture. And everything that is good and rich begins to die. The system gets out of balance. And we wind up in the midst of chaos and disorder. But the good news is, and we'll talk about this a little more next week, the good news is disorder creates creativity. Disorder gives birth to creativity. And it is in the disorder that we create new order. And so letting go of our desire for everything to kind of fade into this monochromatic oneness. We're going to step back and look at this beautiful chaotic disorder that we've got right now. Kind of like a Jackson Pollock painting, all splattered all over everywhere. And see, there's something here that I'm needing to learn. So if I have one lesson for today's talk, it would be true oneness means to widen our circle, to be with people who are different from us, so we can experiencing a loving and unified relationship with God. The whole system requires diversity in order to function properly. God requires diversity in order to function properly. Every culture has a lesson for us. Our piece of the truth is not the whole truth. We have something to learn from everyone around us. Did you know that in the Islamic culture, it is said that Allah, which is all it is the Islamic translation of the word God. All it means is God. Just like Jehovah means God in Judaism. Allah is as close as your jugular. You know what your jugular is? It's the connection between your brain and your heart. Think about that. Think about, am I coming from my brain? Am I coming from my heart? Or are they dancing together in diversity, in full color together? Namaste. And now it is time for Ona to come do the blessing of the offering, and they're going to be bringing up the giving slide, and then we'll go straight into Phoebe.
Hello, everyone. Now it's time for us to give back to the center as the center is given to us. So I'd like you to remember with me that divine love within me blesses all that I am and all that I have. And that divine love within me blesses the center with its offerings so that we can reach out to many other people and bless them also. It's all one big circle. And I hope you will join in the circulation of the circle and keep it all moving. Thank you very much. You want me to tell them how they can do it?
If you want to go over the things on the list, you
Just
can.
bring my glasses up. I
Okay.
can't read it.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I know you can do it on the internet. I know you can mail it in. I know you can bring it in person. Any of those will work, and that's the best I can do. Thank you.
Well, hello there again. So I finished writing a song this morning, and I started it Friday, and I wanted to share it today and forgive any potential hiccups. But it goes along with what we're doing, and it's it's the concept of not just society and the world and everyone else telling you to act a certain way, keep your special stuff under wraps, calm down, stay quiet, and this is the story of a child that someone has kept their light quiet, kept their light not shining. They didn't want their light shining, but the child knew that someday that light had to be shared. And I finished that today. So it's called Moonlit Child. Thought it was a dream you'd never share, a world that wouldn't care anyway. Just a dream, but little did you know this dream would take a hold one day. Ooh, one day. As the tamers cast you away, like the fodder for the wild, you kept your spirit close to you, little moonlit child. Well, you thought it was a secret, hidden deep inside, but it's just too bright to hide anymore. Oh, you must release it. These treasures you've buried, this light you have carried all alone. Oh, all alone. As the tamers cast you away, like some fodder for the wild, you kept your spirit close to you, little moonlit child. You didn't want to show them, nobody had to know. You know that you are different, 'cause you glow, glow, glow. Perfect as you are, holding all you need. Embrace this light inside of you, so ready to be free. Ooh, you thought it was a dream. Now you got it off your chest, and the world has been blessed by you. Ooh, the real you, the lovely you, the glowing you. Keep it wild, little moonlit child. Keep it wild, little moonlit child. Keep it wild, little moonlit child. Keep it wild, little moonlit child.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so amazed by anybody who can sing in a minor key. That's a gift. Thank you so much.
My dad used to say, Phoebe, you're a major force in a minor key.
God bless him. Well, thank you for being with us today. And I want to put a big shout out to Kevin Buttry, Donu Green, Mark Stern, Dale Offit, and James Capodanno, who all worked in our parking lot. If you get a chance, go around, come around and see our brand new, our cleaned up parking lot with all the new stripes and everything. They got it all redone. It looks marvelous, and appreciate them. And now we're going to have today our board president, Kathy Kluppinger, is going to be doing the announcements.
Good morning.
Thanks, Kathy.
Hello, everybody. It is so nice to be here with you today. So the board, today is Board Sunday, third Sunday of the month, and the board has been meeting monthly via Zoom this whole time. And we are really, really grateful for the opportunity to continue to be of service to the center during this odd time. Financially, we're doing okay considering not meeting in person. For the month of June, our income was $8,500 and our expenses were $7,600. So we actually did have net income for June. Some months our expenses are exceeding our income. We are so grateful for everyone that continues to support the center financially. We also have a few opportunities to support the center in person. So on Sundays, I've had the joy of being here. Most Sundays, Liz Callahan and I are sitting in the social hall, and we are your backstage streaming conductors. So we have opportunities for members, you don't even need to be a member of our center, to be here live in person, either helping to do the backstage computer part, or in the sanctuary, helping to run the cameras. It really helps to have people that are available to do that as a backup. So even if you're able to do it one Sunday a month, that would be extremely helpful. So you have the opportunity to continue to be a part of the center. You can either get a hold of myself, and my information is available, I think, on our website, and also get a hold of Reverend Linda through the office. So that's my piece. The announcements that we have for today are, I have to change the slides. Okay. There we go. So our 50th anniversary the party is being postponed until we are able to safely meet in person as a large group. So upcoming, starting September 9th, on Wednesday evenings, Friday mornings, Reverend Linda is going to be doing a new class called Creating a New Mindset, and that is an accredited class. Saturdays, starting in September, 4:30 to 6 p.m., 14-week book study with Angela Alcantar, and the book is Me and White Supremacy. And we are going to be having an online new membership orientation class. There's been a handful of people moving to our center that have been members at other centers, or brand new people that have found us online that are ready to become members. So the new membership orientation class will be happening. So please call the office with your interest to be included in that class. Also, another 8-week class with Angela Alcantar starting October 1st, Thursday evenings, 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. Self-mastery. Angela is very busy. She'll be doing a 10-week book study starting October 5th, Mondays from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. called Full Body Presence. And that is all we have on our announcements. Lovely to be here with all of you, and I'm going to send it back to Reverend Linda. There's Linda. There's Linda.
Okay, are we, did it take? Okay, I thought I was doing my thing before. So anyway, just wanted to thank everybody, bless everybody. And thank you for being with us. And if you need anything, please call the office Monday through Wednesday. We're open and our voicemail is here 24/7. So you can always leave a message. Know we love you. Take care. Bye-bye.